Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Clarissa Nuzarani and my study number is 2500004018. I want to tell story about the cases of David Cooper in Skyjack. On the rainy afternoon of November 24, 1971, a quiet man while up in the Northwest Oriental Airlines counter at Portland International Airport. He used cash to purchase a one-way ticket on Flight 305, a short 30-minute hop to Seattle, Washington, on the ticket. He signed his name as Dan Cooper. This identity would soon capture the imagination of the world and spark the most extensive manhunt in America and phonetich history. To the flight crew and the passengers, he looked like any other businessman. He wore a dark suit, a white collar shirt, and a black tie, and wrapped himself in a lightweight raincoat. He boarded the Boeing 727 to his seat in the ferry back in 18A, lit a cigarette, and ordered a bourbon and soda. No one looking at him could have guessed that within an hour, this unremarkable man would exact the perfect frame and vanish completely into this air. Shortly after takeoff, at experimentally 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Cooper landed over the handed a folded note to the Florence Caver. The flight attendant seated nearest to him, accustomed to lonely businessmen handing her their phone number. Scaver simply dropped the note into her purse without reading it. Cooper landed closer and whispering, "Miss, you better look at the note. I have a bomb," he said. Scaver sat down next to him and quickly requested to see the bomb. Cooper opened his cheap attended case just wide enough for her glimpse of it at red clinders attended to the rise and a large cylindrical battery. He closed the case and calmly delivered his demands. He won $200,000 in negotiable America $20 bill, 4 parachute, 2 main and 2 reverse, and a full truck standing by its seatbelt to refuel it. The aircraft immediately upon arrival. Scaver walked to the cockpit to inform Captain William Scott. For the next 2 hours, Flight 305 circled the rainless skies of the Pacific Northwest as the FBI and the airline officials scrambled on the ground to gather the case and the parachute. At 5:39 in the evening, the plane finally landed it well. It should run away at Tacoma International Airport, true to his word. Cooper allowed a 36-passenger critical dilemma as soon as airline officials 6 passengers and several crew members to exit the plane safely. Only the pilot, co-pilot, a flight engineer, and the flight attendant, Tina Mucklow, remained on board as hostess. Cooper ordered the plane to be refueled and demanded a flight plan toward Reno, Nevada, and eventually Mexico. He gave special instructions to the cockpit. The plane must fly below 10,000 feet, maintain a Romery Bakery slow speed of 150 knots, and fly with the landing gear down and the flaps extended. The plane took off again into a fierce blending storm with heavy rain and zero visibility. Cooper ordered the remaining flight attendant into the cockpit and locked the cabin door behind her. Alone in the passenger cabin, Cooper strapped the heavy ransom money to his body, Select two of the parachute and welcome to the every bag of the aircraft. At approximately 8 o'clock, a warning light flashed in the cockpit. The tail of the aircraft suddenly lurched upward. Cooper had lowered the plane's unique rear airsteer into the freezing dark night. Somewhere over the dense and unforgiving wilderness of the southwest Washington state near the air community and the shadow of the mountains at Highlands, D.B. Cooper did the unthinkable. He stepped off the open staircase and plummeted into roaring, freezing rainstorm. He was wearing a nothing but his lightweight business suit and slip-on shoes, jumping in the wilderness of the thick tongueless Philippines with the temperatures well below freezing. Then the plane finally landed in Reno, Nevada. FBI agents stormed the cabin. Cooper was gone. He left behind black clip on the tie, a mother of the pearl tea clip, two of the four parachute, and Mr. Reed that would bell investigation for decades. The FBI immediately launched a navigation code named Norjack, short for Northwest Hijacking, which becoming one of the most extensive and expensive investigation federal history. They scratched the rugged mountain terrain on foot until helicopter. They even deployed a submarine in nearby lakes. They tracked the serial number of the $20 bill, distributing lists to banks and casinos worldwide. Yet, for nearly a decade, not a single trace of the man, the parachute, or the money was ever found. The only breakthrough came 9 years later. In February 1998, an 8-year-old boy digging in the sand at the Tina Bar along the Columbia River uncovered three decrepit packets of the ransom cash, totaling $5,800. The serial number matched Cooper money exactly. This discovery led many experts to believe that Cooper died the night of the jump. His body was and parachute destroyed by the nature while the money washed down the river. However, amateur sleuths argued that the money was buried years later, suggesting Cooper survived. Over 45 years, the FBI experienced skydiving but could never effectively match anyone to the physical advance. In July 2016, the FBI accidentally suspended inactivity review of the case, setting up the resources needed to block the higher reporting investigation. Today, there remains Gore's story of the sky. Did he die in the wilderness voice or die Sorry, we will never know during that debacle. And the fun fact, on the right afternoon of November 24, 1971, Quaitman welcomed the Northwest Oriented at Portland International. He used to and and The islands, a passenger boarding, the hijack, and the identity for the point. The alias of passenger boarding under the name Dan Copper on November 24 in 1971. The comic clue, Dan Copper was French comic book character was a pilot and paragrapher. The flight. He boarded Northwest Orient Airlines flight from Portland to Shetland.